Welcome to another video series on my 160th anniversary playthroughs of American Civil War battles. This one is going to be second Bull Run here on its anniversary, and this particular battle that we're going to be playing is called Chinn Ridge, a subset of the bigger battle in which Hood's division, along with Kemper and Jones's divisions, attacked across the plains of Manassas to capture Chinn Ridge and push the Union forces back across Henry Hill and ultimately push them into retreat back towards DC. So this actually occurred on the final day of the battle, August 30th, and I'll be posting it at that day, so you can actually see that. And it's a short scenario. We're only talking 3 turns here of the battle, choosing the great battles of the American Civil War. If you haven't played this already, it's quite an interesting series, very detailed series of battles. And I'll kind of walk you through everything. It's not a tutorial per se, but it's going to be more of the battle itself, trying to develop the narrative of this shorter battle, or smaller battle, I should say, for the 160th anniversary. Now, the Battle of Second Bull Run came about after the early summer campaign in the peninsula by McClellan and his forces. Lee looked towards a way of pushing back the armies, not of McClellan, because he was defeated at the end of June, but more the Army of Virginia under Pope, who was threatening the center of Virginia. So after Cedar Mountain, which I had created another video on, using the Stonewall Swords scenario, Lee pushed forward with Longstreet and Jackson up in the central Virginia area, and eventually came to push Pope back, the Army of Virginia back towards Washington and towards the Washington defenses. And Jackson went forward, destroying some supply depots of the Army of Virginia and really causing Pope to come look for him. And they met again here on the battlefield of Bull Run to now have the second Bull Run. And after 2 days, or after the initial day of skirmishing and 1 day of fighting, heavy fighting with Jackson and Pope, then Longstreet attacked. And this particular scenario is that particular attack, where Longstreet is going to attack, or his forces are going to attack, and really push back the Union forces who had stripped their left defenses and let the full corps of Longstreet really attack and drive them back in towards DC. So in this scenario, as I said, Chinn Ridge, this is the initial attack, where we have Hood's division, and that's these troops right over here. They'll be attacking across here. Now these yellow-green chits here, these are the entry hexes for Hood's division. They'll be pushing across here. Their objective is going to be take these hexes here of Chinn Ridge above the trail. The trail is right here. And then push forward, hopefully to cross Henry Hill right over in this area here, and push forward to drive the Union Army back. So in this particular game, this is regimental level, so each one of these units are regiments of the armies. So these are Evans brigades here. Here's the leader for Evans. Hood is over here. On this side we have Gouverneur Warren over here as part of the 5th Corps, with 2 regiments here and extended lines. And the rest of them over here are Union as well, ad hoc kind of units that were pieced together to try to form some defense. There will be some reinforcements, both for the Confederates and the Union. And the Union will be trying to hold back the Confederate tide. The initial attack was Hood and Evans, and then over the course of the next turn or two, we will have units from Jones and Kemper come on as well to help form the attack. Now, a little bit of strategy of how I set this up. Looking at the Union side, they are pretty much in positions dictated by the setup. All of these units are set up in specific hexes per the scenario setup rules. And the Confederates are going to be coming on the board, as I said, in those green hexes. So they can kind of set up in their own ways over here. We also have some reinforcements up here, part of Reynolds units coming in here to support them. They also will come in through that green hex right there. Now, a little bit of strategy here that we'll be playing with. Looking at the Union lines, the Union had to set up in these two hexes with Warren in front here. Now you can see that the attack by Hood is going to be a very deliberate one going across here. But the main goal, as I said before, is going to be this ridge line here and ultimately off the board. So there's 3 turns to actually do this. So Hood's division is going to have to not fight as much as it wants, as it would like to. In other words, it won't really bulldog its way across through Warren and through these other units, but they will need to move fairly quickly to get around to get Chinn Ridge and have some sort of chance of getting off there. So because of this dictates the setup here a little bit. First off, from the Union side, the Union just wants to, in this case, I'm having the Union just want to delay and slow down Hood's attack as much as possible. So Warren has deployed in extended lines over here to cover as much area as possible to keep them back. And that's going to be the first line of defense. Second line of defense is going to be over here with these units. Once the battle develops, we'll figure out how they're going to interact. Also, the reinforcements up here to the north hopefully come in here and kind of fill in the gap to at least cut off the northern route over here. A little bit trickier on the southern side here because the Union won't get reinforcements until the second turn. And then these folks are going to be coming in up here as well. So they're going to have a tough time moving down here, but maybe some counterattacks on Chinn Ridge. But again, the Union strategy is going to be delay and try to hold off and just run the clock out for the game, and hopefully keep them off of Chinn Ridge. At a minimum, keep them off from exiting the board over here off of the Manassas Sudley Spring Road. Now, for the Confederate, knowing a little bit about that, they are going to have to maneuver a little bit right from the start. They've got a long way to go across here. These units have movement points of 6, but a lot of woods and a few hills, so that's going to slow them down a little bit going along here. So they're going to have to move as fast as possible these first few turns to get at least halfway across the board and in striking distance of getting off the Sudley Springs Road. But they still have Governor Warren here in front of them, so they're still going to have some sort of attack. So I split the forces 2 ways. First off, Evans over here towards the center left. He has been deployed in attack mode to start, and he is going to engage or try to engage Warren's troops up here as much as possible to whittle them down, push them back, or at least bully them a little bit. Hood, on the other hand, has deployed in advance mode. Notice that, but the lack of counter. And by the way, the Union is all in advance mode. There's no attack on there. But Hood is all in advanced mode. His primary job is going to be to try to dash around the left flank of Warren and get over here and hopefully get to Chinn Ridge, or at least the foothills of Chinn Ridge, by the end of turn 1, which I think is possible. If they can get over here, then they've got a shot at pushing them back and getting over and capturing Chinn Ridge at that point. On turn 2, that is. And then, of course, on turn 2, we've got the reinforcements of Jones and Kemper, which hopefully will come on here in advanced mode, and hopefully can utilize either trails or roads at this point to get close to the fight and position themselves so they can potentially make a dash for Henry Hill over here, or at a minimum, get off the board down across this trail down here, which is just off camera for the moment. So that's going to be the strategies. Slow them down for the Union, push as hard as possible with limited engagement for the Confederates, and try to drive them back so they can capture the ridge and then ultimately get off the board. So with that being said, it should be an interesting fight over here. I will be setting up my dice camera over there. Just another couple of logistical comments. I'll be using both a blue and gray dice for the attacks by the appropriate side. Union would be blue, gray, Confederates will be gray. Then for other rolls, I will be using a red and green dice for other types of rolls. These would be cohesion tests, or I should say UDD tests, not cohesion, but UDD tests, leader losses, and other kind of administrative type of rolls. So just giving you an idea of what dice should be rolled at what particular point in time. We will be playing with fatigue, so that will be key on here because it is a very hot day, and there'll be no restrictions on the amount of fatigue that can be incurred. And per the scenario rules, the command section will be very, very limited. Hood's brigade will be given 4 AMs that'll go in the cup all the time, and all the rest of the Confederates will have 3 AMs once they are on the board. Then the only other thing is when units are coming in as reinforcements, much like what Reynolds units are coming on over here, they will have specific AMs. So in this case, the brigade coming in from Reynolds division only has 2 AMs for this first turn because they are reinforcements. And the same thing I'll note with the other reinforcements as they come in. So that's a bit of the logistics with everything. I don't think if there's anything else to note on there. I don't think so. So with that, hopefully that's going to be a good introduction. And hopefully this will be a good playthrough of Chinn Ridge for the 160th anniversary of the Second Battle of Manassas, Second Battle of Bull Run for this. So with that, I will be back with turn 1. I believe that's 1500 hours. It'd be basically 1500 3 p.m., 1600 4 p.m., and 1700 5 p.m. Of August 30th, 1862. So see you then. Okay, we're off to turn 1 of my 160th playthrough of Second Bull Run Chinn Ridge scenario. So, as we get started here on turn 1, couple simple logistical things. First off, for this first turn, the initiative is going to be held by the Confederates. Second thing, with the orders, they are already in the cup on here, as you can see. And obviously Hood is going to be the first chit that's going to be pulled, so I've pulled that out already. The scenario itself dictates the total number of activation markers that are going to be used. 4 for Hood's brigade, 3 for everybody else. And then for the Union, it is 3 AMs per brigade that's on the board, and then anyone off the board will have most likely 2 AMs coming in, but then revert to 3 AMs on there. So there's no need to check efficiency or chain of command. Everybody is in command. We've got our AM set. We do need to check for orders at this point, but seeing as it's the first turn, they're already set. Evans is going to be in attack. Everybody else, Hood be in advance. Union is all in advance orders. Reinforcements coming in, that will be over here, who is Hardin of Reynolds Brigade, or Reynolds Division, excuse me. He will be coming in as advance there as well, and nobody will be in reserve placement. So Hood has the initiative. AMs are in, so let's go through for the first unit. So with this activation, I think we will start with Hood himself, his brigade, activating only first, and they'll be coming in right across here and trying to navigate down this way. So I think we'll take the first Texas, and they'll go 2, and then turn, and then 4, and then turn 6, and then just face that way. Remember, they're on advance, so they're just moving 2 hexes each. Then we'll take Hood, the unit under Hood, which is the 18th Georgia, and then we'll just go 1 and turn 2, 1, no, not 1, 2, 3, sorry, and then go over here for 4, 5. These guys are behind. Them. And the next units coming in will go 1, 2. Let's see here. I want to play this. Actually, let's not take them yet. Let's take these guys. They will go 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. And I think they'll just, excuse my arm there, we'll move like that. And they will also go that way here as well. Right up here, and then these guys will just come on this way. Take that off. Like that. And then Hood will position himself in his command right over here for now. Okay, so that's the Hood's brigade activated. Next will be Evans. Evans under the attack. So his movement is halved, so they're only at 3. So they're just gonna Evans brigade here. Now he's extended into the 2 hexes, so they're just gonna move forward into these 2 hexes, and we'll take that off. So he'll just go 1 to there, okay, but his extended unit will need to go 1 to there as well. So they both have 1, because 1 for the, or excuse me, that's going to be 2. That's going to be 2 because they're under the attack orders, not 1, but 2. They can't take advantage of the road movement. They have to use the terrain movement in there. So that'd be 2 and 2, and stop there. And then next will be this guy next door. He's also under attack. Move that off there as well. And oops, they kind of bumped off there. There we go. They'll go Both of these will just move up into here for 2, and he'll come forward like that, and Evans will stay where he is. Okay, they're moving forward, threatening Warren's flanks over here. They didn't attack yet. There's no firing, no attacking yet, because we do have some block line of sights with the woods in here, but they are moving to threaten Warren and keep them out of balance. Okay, let's go with the next AM. That is going to be Schwartz. Okay, put them up here for now so I know what it is. So that is going to be our fella right here for now. That's our artillery, isn't it? Right. What does he do? Gonna have an attack over there. I would like him to support. I think what we're just gonna do is have them come up the hill. So that's gonna be 2 points into there. Of course, they'll be at the bottom of the stack for now. And stop there. Okay. So far, so good. Just a little bit of maneuvering, and the next one is gonna be Sykes. So this is gonna be Warren's units over here that move next. So Warren's got a little predicament here. He's about to be flanked. If he stays there, he's about to be attacked and flanked. Now, a couple things to be worried about with Warren is, one, he's going to be flanked, which is a big concern, but two, the 10th New York has a very, very low cohesion number. I mean, if he gets attacked, most likely they're going to disrupt very quickly and fall back to retreat. Now, the 5th New York is much better cohesion there. He's got a 7, and he probably will stand. But given the amount of units he's facing, 2 full brigades, it's going to be wiser for him to fall back. So I think what we're going to do is have them using withdrawal movement. They are actually going to fall back. So they're going to go back 1 to there, and to there, and stop. That's only 1 point, so that doesn't require a UDD, so they're safe. And then the 5th New York is going to go back. Now he's going to go back, and that's going to be a 2 movement point hex, and the same for this hex over here. So now they need to do a UDD with Warren's help. They're going to be a 7. Now they get, because the terrain is woods, which is 2 points, which is greater than 1. They're going to get a +1 on the dice roll, but Warren's going to help them, so it's going to net out. So it's basically going to be 7 or less, and they roll an 8, of course. So they actually disrupt when they tried to fall back. So they're disrupted in the woods over here. But they're still playing their role as the speed bump or delay to Hood's attack for now. Let's see who's next. Well, we've got Hood again. Well, Hood, seeing that movement, is going to continue pressing it. Now this is going to be Hood's 2nd activation, so no fatigue yet. So we'll start with Evans first, and they will continue to move forward. Oops, come on, there we go. So they'll move 2 points to there, 2 points to there, and stop. These will also move ahead 2 points, crushing through the woods, and stop. Actually, I can take this one off so we know where starting line is, and he's going to move up 2 points. Okay, so Evans is moving forward with the slow retirement of Warren. And now Hood, he's going to actually move again. So this unit is going to turn, go 2, and then cross the river into here for 3, 4, and then up the hill 5 and 6. Okay. He will go 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Just slightly off the map. I'll reposition the camera in a little bit, but he is over there. Now Hood himself is going to turn and go 2, 4, 6, and then turn face this way, just in case Warren gets creative. And then he'll go 2, 4, 6, and also turn. Okay, so Hood's now moved up over here, closing in on Chinn Ridge, only after 2 activations. Evans putting the pressure on Warren to fall back. So let's go with the next chit. Ooh, we've got Hood again. Okay, this will prove interesting. Now, this will be Evans' 3rd activation. They only have 3 activations, so this will be their last one. Hood's brigade themselves actually can continue moving. So let's do Hood first. Again, they'll just be moving up. He'll go 1 into there, 2. Now, battery is underneath, so he can't fire at them, so that's good. So he goes 1, 2, turns, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then turns back. He'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, and stop there. Now the artillery, because he's on the bottom of the stack, he cannot fire. He could potentially retreat if he wanted to, but I think he's going to be better at delaying them here, because Chinn Ridge is an important piece of real estate over here. Now we've got Hood himself. This becomes the interesting situation. So I need to make sure we have some flank support and potential units to cut off Warren here. So it's going to go 1 to there, 2, 3. The intermediate stream doesn't count. And then 4, 5, 6, and then turning that one. And then he will go 1, 2, 3, and then turn. He will turn, cross there for 1, 2, and then turn back for 3. Yeah, okay. Where to put Hood? I think he needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. So he can position on the flank to potentially nab Warren as he retreats. So now Evans is going to move up. So how do we want to do this here? They can't pivot because they're extended, so they can only go straight ahead. All right, we might as well do straight ahead. So he'll go 1 there, and he'll be 2 points to there. All right, so that's going to be their 2 points. And then over here, these guys will move up in the same order, keeping the same stacking, like so. And then these folks go where? Where, oh where? Let's see, I'm going to move up. Well, they can only move up 1 of 2 hexes there because they're an attack. So we'll push them over here. Actually, we'll push them right there. Okay, so there we have it. There's our movement. All right, now for the firing. All right. So Evans, the 10th, is it 10th? Can't say that there. They'll be firing straight ahead. So a little bit of firing here. Everybody will be firing straight ahead from each other. So these units, they're an extended line. So they'll be 7 and 7. These will be 6 and 5, firing ahead at each other. The Union will counterfire as well. I'll be rolling those at the same time, and then we'll figure out the hits from there. So let's do our rolls first. 7 for the Confederates and 0 for the Union. So Confederates first. They're on the 7 column. That's this column right here. Modifiers they are muskets at close range. So they'll get a +2 right there. It's non-prep fire, so that's nothing. Terrain, there's no terrain, so that's nothing. Yeah, and I think that's it. So they'll get a +2 on their dice roll. So they had a 7, +2 is 9. It's a 1D. Okay, that's a pretty significant hit. They lose strength point, and they will demoralize. Okay. Now for the Union, in their return fire, they are muskets as well, so there'll be a +2. They were 5. 0 with a +2 brings them to there. They do get prep fire because they didn't move, so there it goes to 3. And then terrain, there's no terrain, so it's +3, so 0 to +3 is a D-1. Okay, D-1 on brigade there with Evans there, so he's going to be a +1 to the morale, or excuse me, a +1 to his morale, so they're going to be 7 with a -1 on the dice roll. 4, 3, so they're fine. No problem there. Okay, moving down the line here, we've got another 7 against 6. Now at this point, the Union is disrupted there, so where the dice rolls are, 0 for the Confederates, 3 for the Union. So once again, it's 7. They're +2 for the muskets. They are now firing into, well, still open terrain, so there's no woods effect there. So it's just going to be +2, so it's going to be a D-1 on the Union. Okay. D minus 1, excuse me, on the Confederates. So once again, it's the same thing. It would be 6 up to 7 with a minus 1, 6, 5. So they're okay. Excuse me. Back up. That was on the Union. So it was D minus 1. So they're a 3 with a minus 1. Their minus 1 is 5. So they actually disrupt for a second time. Now this is a disruption from the fire table. A second disruption from the fire table is going to be lose a strength point and retreat 1 to 2 hexes. So they lose another strength point. So now these guys come down to a 5. And they must retreat 1 to 2 hexes. So they're going to go back into here, like so. I think. Yeah, that will give them the ability to retreat if need be. All right. Now Evans can't advance because he moved, so there's no advance for him. He just stays right there, or I should say, the regiment there. Now we come down over here, and we've got a couple of shots over here. First off, we'll do the 17th North Carolina, or South Carolina, excuse me. They'll take a shot at Warren's units, and Warren will shoot back. So we've got a strength of 5 on the first unit here against 6 over there. Now the Confederates are muskets, but they will be into woods. So a dice roll. 8 for the Confederates, 0 for the Union. So Confederates are on 5. That's here. 8 comes to here. Plus 2 for being in for muskets, but in the woods is going to be a minus 1, so it brings us back down to the 9 column. So it's a 1d plus 2. Okay. 1d plus 2, and actually while I'm here, the Union is going to be a 6 over here. 0, now they are rifles, which is a plus 1, but they're disrupted, minus 1, and then firing into the woods, so I actually get to be a minus 1. So they're a miss. So it's 1, and then a D plus 2. So they drop to a 5. And because we had a 1, we've got to check for leader loss on Warren. So we'll do that right now. And we have, I believe that's a leader loss. Yes, the 0 is a wounding of Warren. So he's actually going to come off, and he'll be replaced later on. But he is wounded, so that's going to have an effect on our dice roll. So there are a 5, and it's a plus 2. So it's a 5 with a plus 2, and they are demoralized again, so there's going to be another loss. So they're going to drop to a 4, kind of evening the losses out here. And they're going to have to retreat. So I have to retreat. So I think they're going to have to voluntarily pull back over here, which shouldn't make a difference, but they're going to be now replaced with a 9 counter. And then they're going to retreat into this hex here. Because they couldn't, with the extended line, they wouldn't be able to retreat into here because that'll be the frontal hex over there. So they voluntarily retreat. They would technically need to demoralize, but I believe with the extended lines, when they pull back like that, yeah, it would need to conduct a UDD if the unit fails. It's disordered. If already disordered, there's nothing further. So he just pulls back. If he wasn't already disrupted, then he would be disordered. He would be at that point. So he pulls back. Warren's been wounded. That's going to be a serious impact later on, at least from the morale perspective. Now these guys can't advance as well because they've already moved forward. But that was their third activation, so they actually get some fatigue. They get fatigue is okay for Evans. And they have driven back Warren's regiments on that side. So we've got a pretty good position after a handful of AMs, 5 AMs. We've got Hood pulled 3 times, which gives him pretty good position. Next one is going to be Schneck. Okay. Which is going to be these guys over here and up on the hill. Well, these are all going to advance, so I think movement. I think I need to get him into the action. He's going to turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. These guys are in a tough position. They potentially could shoot at them, try to weaken them. Their rifles as well. They'll only have 7 against 5. And right. So, and then they could fire as well. That would be 4. Yeah, they don't have much firepower. All right. Well, we've got the artillery in position here. I think actually what they're going to do is they're not going to fire, but they're going to switch positions. Oh, come on. With the artillery. The artillery will be on top. That'll give them a chance to get some canister shots at either one of them here. Okay. I'm thinking I also want to, got them coming in over here. I think I'm going to pull them back as well. I think they'll just use withdrawal movement to go 1, 2. Try to establish a line over here to defend these hexes. Then the only other one is this unit here, which I think will take a shot at the Georgians right up there. So it'll be 5 against the maximum of 7 for the Georgians. So let's see how it goes. Not too well for the Union. So Union is rifled, so they'll get a +1. They're on the 5 column. They're 2 away. They can use prepared fire, so they'll go up to a 2. So it's D -2. There's no terrain bonus. So it'll be D -2. Now the 10th Georgians are 7. So essentially they can't be hit with a D -2. So effectively it's a miss for them. Now for the Georgians, that's quite the other story. They're a rifled unit with not moving, so they prepared fire on the 7 column. They rolled a 7 with +2 makes a 1D. So that hurt the 70th Ohio. So they lose a point and they flip over. Okay, so that's all for Schneck. Go to our next chit. Same, no, this is Schwartz, okay? Schwartz. So this is interesting because now our artillery is in position to actually try to do some damage. So he will take a shot on him, which is going to be canister fire because it's within 3 hexes. So they're a P10. Well, let's roll our dice. Let's see what we get. They can fire back, can't they? Because they're in range. Okay, the Union will fire back because they can return fire on them. So, okay. Here we go. Let's roll our dice. So, the P10, strength of 4, right? Which will be over here because it's canister. Now, as P10, they get a modifier at 2 as a +2. Alright, but they are in the woods, so it's going to be -1, so it's back down to a 1. So it's going to be 4, it's a small d on the Confederates. The return fire will be 7 on the 7 column, with a +2 making it a d -1. Okay. So it's a d and a d -1. So we'll take the Confederates first. They're an 8. So they need a 9 will break them, or otherwise they're good. Get a 5. So they're in good shape. Now the New York artillery there will need a 7 with a -1 on the dice. Roll a 0. So they're fine as well. So no action there, but they may be doing rapid fire when they advance. So next chit, we've got Schneck again. That's these units over here. So let's see, got the 4 here. I could have the infantry fire out, but they're going to hit back with a 7. Yeah, I'm going to have to. These guys need to desperately do cover. They're going to get overrun quickly. And I've got other units to move up here. So let's first off move these guys. They're going to move up to there. Yeah, he's going to advance 1, 2 to there. He's going to try to fill the gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. We're going to have, where's the leader here? He's going to step over here and try to help him out to recover. He's a 4, +1 for the leadership, so he goes to a 5. 5 or less. Rolls an 8. Had the leadership on there, so he doesn't lose anything. He just stays right there. And then these guys, they need to do something. They can fire at somebody. I think they're going to try at them. It'll be a little easier. And they can do it because they could do it with 4 of their points, or 3 of their points, excuse me, against them. So it'll be 3 against 7 return fire. So here we go. All right, so let's roll some dice, and then we'll get them out. We've got a 5 and a 9. Okay, so for the Union, on the 3 column, rolled a 5. Now we're playing by the 2021 rules, so it's going to be the modified number that has that dictates whether it's a ammo loss. So it's +1 for the rifle, +1 for the range, so it's D +2 on the Confederates. Then for the Confederates, they are on the 7 column. They roll a 9 with a +2, 2D. Ouch. That's going to go against the top unit, which is the artillery. Oh, that just decimated our artillery. Okay, so they drop down 2. Alright, and they've got to do a D. Well, that wasn't too good. So let's see. They've got a D +2 on there. So they're a 7 with a +2 on the dice roll. 4. So they're okay. It's getting kind of desperate over here for the Union. Their defense is not holding up well against their attacks. We've got Sykes as being next. That's up here. And this is pretty desperate. We're going to have to continue to pull them back, I think, to the ridge line here if we can. We're just going to do withdrawal movement, 1 hex each. So they go to there, they go to there, and they go to there. Alright, so kind of getting them out of the way slowly but surely. That's the that's their second. Let's see, everybody's had at least 2 on the Union side. Okay. No fatigue yet on the Union side, but with the actually for the Confederates, actually Hood, I made a mistake there. Hood should actually get a little fatigue there, the OK fatigue, because he moved 3 times. And fatigue is going to be something I think that's going to help the Union a little bit. Because the Confederates really need to press their attack as much as they can. And we get Reynolds. That's up here. He's the reinforcements. So Hardin is going to come in. And their units are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think he'll follow suit. And wind up underneath him there. These guys will go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they'll go, yeah, they'll go right there as well. Artillery will be 3, actually be 2, 4, and then 6 to there. Hardin himself, I think, will come over here. Good. Okay, so they're on the board. And next, we've got Sykes again. So this is the 3rd turn for Sykes. Can withdraw movement, but that's going to fatigue them. I think they're in a good position. They're going to try to recover. Each one will try to recover. So we'll take them going from left to right. The 5th New York needs a 5 or less. Oh, they roll a 9. They actually lose a step. Strength point, sorry. And now the New Yorkers, the other New York, the 10th New York, need a 3 or less. They actually recover. That's useful. Okay. So no fatigue for them. They've done 1, 2. That's their third activation. And getting down to the end of the turn here, we're getting Reynolds again. There is one more hood someplace. Now, what to do with Harden at this point? What to do with Harden at this point? I think I want the artillery. That's woods over there, so they're going to have to come, I think, over the river and not through the woods. So, just looking here. There we go. Yeah, it's +2, so that would be 2, 4, and then 6, and then the uphill would be 7. Yeah, that would be 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we'll come this way. So crossing the river into the woods is 3, +2 is 5, and then up here is 6, 7, +1, 8. Okay. Now, where do I want them to wind up? Actually, I think these guys are going to need to go 1, turn, 2, 3, turn. Actually, let's do it this way. This one first. 1, turn, 2, turn, 3, turn. And then he'll follow suit underneath him to give him some heavy support. Harden and his merry men. I think Harden will just come over here and I'll leave those guys right there. I think they're fine for them. Okay. So there's Reynolds, and he should be, or Harden of Reynolds division. He should be done. We've got Schwartz again. That's the third. This is the artillery unit, isn't it? He is going to try to recover. He really needs to recover. Yeah. So he's going to be 5 or less. Rolls, of course, a 6. So he doesn't recover. Okay. That is not good. Next, we've got last Union one, Schneck, which is these guys right here. So they've already done 2 activations. So if they take another, they're going to be fatigued. He can recover, but these guys have to switch, and that's going to cause them to fatigue. So they're going to reposition like so. All of these guys, well, if I'm moving and going to incur fatigue, I might as well go all in with it. So these guys will actually shoot. Now he can't because he's going to be blocked by this. He can. he's not facing the right way. So this guy right here, this 3 stack will, 3 against 7, ugh, ugly odds. Ugly odds. 3, he's going to be just a +1. He'd have to roll really high to actually get in there. Actually, I don't think he is. I don't trust him. A lot of these guys have disrupted and are disordered. I really need him to get some return fire on him next turn. So this guy's going to recover. He'll be 4 with a +1 is 5. And he rolls a 9. Oh boy. So he drops another one. Goes down to there. These guys are really panicked seeing these Texans coming across the ridge. He does incur a little bit of fatigue for that movement. Alright, so that's it. And the last one, of course, is Hood. So here's the dilemma. Hood, Evans is done. Can't move, he's set. Hood could go into the attack, or could try to go into attack. Now, if he does, he's going to incur, one, he's got to roll for the attack, which he's got a good chance of getting it, because he's a +2, plus he's with his division leader, so that gives him 3 on a change of orders. So he's got a fair opportunity of changing his orders. 3, worst case, he gets a retain, loose cannon, he changes, so forth and so on. Or he can wait till the next turn, change his orders during the division activation, and he goes along from there. So that's a good question. And also too, these guys could move up as well. But I do like the position. It's a really good position so far. Not real worried about getting these guys up here too far because I just want to give them space, because they're going to deploy and attack. These guys will turn around and attack next turn, and most likely Hood is going to get the initiative for the next turn. So I think we're going to save on the fatigue, because that could get very bad as the fight goes on. So Hood is not going to use his last activation. Just let it go, and that's all the end of the activations here. So we move on to the next phase here, which is going to be the end of turn segment. There's no commander movement, and now we bring back eliminated leaders. So Warren, who was eliminated, can come back as Bendix, and he'll go right there. And let's see, there's no reserve activities. Combat ineffectiveness. Now this is interesting. These guys are both. No, they're not. Okay, so they're combat effective. Yeah, I don't think anybody's combat ineffective yet. And that'll do it. It's the end of the turn. So end of turn 1500, 3 p.m. has Hood's units driving back Warren's 2 regiments, wounding Warren. He's removed from the field. Hood presses his attack onto Chinn Ridge, sets up for an attack over there. But McLean pulls together a little bit of a scratch defense with his brigade, as well as other brigades of Schneck's division, as well as Reynolds has come in to kind of help form up and hopefully slow down Hood's attack. So we'll continue on next turn with the next video, where we'll have reinforcements coming in for the Confederates and reinforcements coming in for the Union, and we'll see if they can't break through to Chinn Ridge and see how the attack develops. So once again, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.